Hey, welcome back. It's Nick from Arch City Poker, archcityplo.com. And in today's vlog, we're going to talk about how to play pocket jacks. Jacks are a hand that a lot of players hate, but a hand that I think a lot of players mislabel. And before we get into that, I think in the near future, most of the videos that will be on the channel will be in this format. I think you guys enjoy these ones the most, or at least you seem to enjoy these ones the most. They're quick, to the point, info that you can use right away at your table in your next session. And I think I'm going to save a lot of the more in-depth, the hand history reviews, the recorded sessions for possibly the Patreon page. I'll have a link to the video describing my thoughts on that, looking for your guys' input as a community, but you can click the link to that video at the end of this video right now. But let's get back on topic here. So pocket jacks, quickly. Pre-flop in live low stakes, no limit games, you're going to want to raise them. You don't want to limp along with them. They are still a strong enough Broadway pair that we want to not only beat the rake by raising them pre-flop, getting as much money in pre-flop, as we can. And I say that, I guess, somewhat tongue-in-cheek. Like, we're not looking to get all in with them necessarily pre-flop, but we do want to bump it up a little bit. We want to charge our opponents to enter the pot. It's still a strong enough combo to do so. But as far as facing a raise in a live low-stakes setting, if it is a raise from early position or a raise from a player that you know has a very tight raising range, then pocket jacks seem to work quite well as a cold call. They're not going to be quite strong enough to 3-bet with. They're not going to accomplish as much. A lot of times you're only getting action from a range of hands that's either crushing you or flipping against you. So they are good ones to, in fact, flat with pre-flop. Now, if you are facing or an opponent that has maybe a wider raising range, or an opponent that's raising from late position, then I would suggest 3-betting them a little bit more often than not. Now, post-flop, this is where we get into the part of pocket jacks that players hate the most. They're not really sure what to do with them when overcards peel off. You know, guys, that's going to happen quite a bit. And there's a big misconception that I think, as far as jacks are just not a good hand because of that. But you have to keep in mind that they have very good showdown value. Just because a board comes queen 8-3, for example, it doesn't mean that your opponent automatically has ace queen, king queen, any queen x. A lot of the time, they actually don't have that. They tend to miss flops at least 2/3 of the time, and depending on the type of population or opponent, they might miss even more than that, because a lot of opponents are, a lot of these players in these live low stakes settings, they're playing way too many hands pre-flop. So there's a couple things you can do. Let's say that queen 8-3 is the flop that does come the next time you have jacks. Yeah, you can check back as the raiser in position. You can check from out of position, planning to check call. But essentially, you're obviously not going to play a 3-street game with these, meaning that you're not going to get 3 streets of value with pocket jacks anymore. If you bet 3 times, you're obviously only going to get action from better in that type of dynamic, and in most every dynamic. But because you often do have a very large range advantage, you can start by betting small with your whole range there. You can mix in top set, overpairs, ace queen. Your opponents won't be able to exploit you, even though I don't think most of them are going to be capable of doing that anyway. But you can bet 3rd pot or 4th pot even with your jacks, and you can get called by worse hands. You can get called by overcards. You can get called by worse pocket pairs, by 8-7 suited on that queen 8-3 texture. So you still can profit and play pocket jacks without essentially always fearing the monsters under the bed. Now, let's say you're not comfortable with the small sizing. You tend to just go with one sizing in that spot. You want to go with half pot, or maybe 2/3 pot is your standard. That's fine. I'm fine with that for simplicity purposes. But what you can do is you can start by checking, and then let's say you are in position, your opponent checks a turn. It's a pretty, irrelevant turn, queen 8-3-5, for example. They're probably quite capped. Most opponents in that spot will bet top pair plus. So now you can go for probably 2 streets of value with your jacks. Or if you're unsure, you think your opponent balanced his range pretty well, you can check back a second time, and then you can go for maybe 1 street of value on the river. Even if he stabs on the turn, you're going to call because jacks are going to be near the top of your range. You're going to c-bet a lot of your top pairs plus. That's why you should check back some top pairs in that spot. Even like top set that's blocking a ton of combos that doesn't need as much protection perhaps. But the point is that pocket jacks have a lot of showdown value. And just because an overcard comes doesn't mean you just need to give up on the hand as soon as you start facing some kind of action. Now, if your small c-bet gets check raised or something and then they barrel off, then yeah, we're going to fold our jacks. It's pretty transparent that in that type of population, your opponents aren't going to be bluffing quite enough. But I want you guys to understand that jacks, we'll get into another hand, I think in the next video, ace-queen, that's another one that players hate. But jacks, they're not a hand that you should hate. It's a strong hand. It's a hand that has great showdown value. So start treating that hand as such, and I think you guys will see better results. If you have any questions or comments about this video, obviously hit me up in the comment section. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Like I said, hit that link for that video for the Arch City Poker is Expanding is the title. Go to that, listen to what I have to say there, and go ahead and give me your feedback in the comment section on that video as well. So I think that's pretty much it, though. See you guys next time.